Hey everyone, I wanted to hop on here today and talk about a topic that is super important to the health of your business and to your customers being successful with the health results that they want with Plexus, and that is follow up. We all know how important follow up is, but maybe it's something that you're not yet a master at. And so this is going to give you some ideas of what you can do to improve your follow up with people. So I'm going to talk specifically about two types of follow up. The first one is how to follow up with new customers and ambassadors, and a system of steps that you can use to improve your follow up and what you need to say and ask when you follow up with people. And then the other part of follow up that we'll talk about is how to follow up with potential customers or ambassadors. So I'm going to start with how to follow up with new customers and new ambassadors that are just starting their products for the first time. There is a specific schedule that I tend to follow when I am following up with people. The first thing I do is after they sign up, I say, let me know the day that your products arrive. Make sure to message me or text me. I'm so excited for you to begin. Make sure to let me know when they arrive. The day that their products arrive and they let me know, I send them the initial instructions. I do not send them their instructions right when they order because I feel like they misplaced them, and I have had it happen so many times where they come back to me and they're like, I can't find the initial instructions. So I've just learned that it's best to wait until their products come, and the day their products come, I send them the initial instructions. I ask them to read them over and to let me know if they have any questions. And then I also send them that video that I made about what to expect when you start your Plexus products. I feel like that's a very important video because it kind of gives them a heads up of what to expect and potentially some of the die-off symptoms that they might experience. So that is day one. On day three, I check back in with them and I see how it's going. I see what kind of routine they're following, how they like the pink drink. If they don't like the taste, then I troubleshoot and I give them some ideas of how to change the taste. If the routine is not working for them, then I troubleshoot with them a different schedule that will work for them. Then I follow up with them a week later, at the 1 week mark, I follow up. At 1 week, I email, message, or text them the Candida die-off information, that document that we have in the Files tab. I also let them know all about Candida, the document that's all about Candida yeast and how to kick it. And I give them that information just to prophylactically, prepare them in case they have Candida die-off. I don't like people to be caught off guard. I want to give them the knowledge and the education to feel empowered so that they know if they start to experience some Candida die-off symptoms, they know that that's perfectly normal. They know that that's a sign that their body is healing, and it's actually a sign that Plexus is working. So I send them that 1 week in. Again, I check in and see how their routine is going, and I ask them specifically how they are taking everything. I have them literally tell me exactly, because I found that sometimes even though you send them instructions, they end up taking stuff wrong. So ask them specifically how they're taking it and when they're taking their supplements. I also ask them specific questions. So at week 1, I check in with them, and at week 2, I check in with them, and I ask them specific questions such as, are you noticing that you're sleeping better? Is your mood better? Do you have more energy? Are you drinking less caffeine? I ask them specific questions because if you just ask them a yes or no question, it doesn't give much room for conversation or dialogue. And also, a lot of people don't notice those things until you point it out to them. And then they're like, oh yeah, I am sleeping better. I wake up feeling great in the morning. Or, oh yeah, I didn't need that glass of wine at bedtime to go to sleep. Or I didn't need a cup of coffee to get me going in the morning. Or I haven't been yelling at my kids as much. Or I feel like my stomach is flatter and I'm losing inches. They won't notice those things a lot of times unless you point them out. So ask specific questions to get those responses and to help them realize how their body is changing. Okay, so after the 1 week follow-up and the 2 week follow-up, I usually don't follow up with them until right after their first auto ship has gone out because I know they're doing okay. Now, if there's someone that is having a lot of Candida die-off, I will check in with them more often and give them more suggestions and help them to adjust their routine. But if there's someone that's doing really well, I'll wait until after their first shipment. I feel like sometimes we over follow up. if you are checking in with somebody every couple of days and they're having kind of slow results or slow progress, that's actually going to make them more frustrated. They're going to feel like, oh my gosh, something's wrong with me because she keeps asking me if I'm feeling a change and I'm only feeling, just a very little bit of change. And so sometimes it can make people worry or think that Plexus doesn't work when really their body just needs a little bit more time. So I feel like there's a delicate balance. You don't want to not follow up, but you don't want to follow up too often and make them anxious and feel like something's wrong if they're not having huge life-changing results in 2 weeks. So that is the customer follow-up. Other than that, as a general rule, I follow up with every ambassador or customer once a month from that point on. If they're doing good, I follow up once a month. If there's someone that's struggling and still trying to find the best routine or the best products for them to use, obviously I'm going to be checking in with those people more often. But if it's someone that's buzzing along, they're doing great, I probably will only check in with them once a month or send them a video or a testimonial that reminds me of them. That's another great thing to do with follow-up, guys, is just let people know you're thinking about them. If you have a great video that you found that reminds you of them or a great testimonial that they can relate to, message it to them, send it to them. That helps them to feel like you care and you're really thinking about them, because we do. We don't want to just leave people hanging. We're not here to just sell them product and then be on our merry way. The other thing that's important about follow-up is that as soon as they start to notice positive results and they're loving their Plexus, you want to encourage them to share. You don't really want them to go months and months and months of feeling amazing and never sharing with anybody. So as soon as you get that message like, I am sleeping so great, I have such great energy, I stopped drinking my afternoon coffee, or I'm not having the same IBS problems I used to have, you want to encourage them to start sharing either on Facebook or personally reaching out to people they know, because they're going to have people in their life that could really benefit from Plexus. So that's the other part of follow-up you want to make sure you do. Okay, so moving on to how to follow up with potentials. So if you have someone that you've had a really good conversation going back and forth with, and they're asking questions, you're giving answers, you're asking questions, and then all of a sudden the conversation stalls, you maybe want to let it sit for a day or two, and then you want to get back to them and ask them a specific question. For example, if you shared a video, you want to say, hey, what did you find interesting about that video? I thought it was really interesting when Ame talked about da-da-da-da-da, whatever it is the video was about, because you want to be engaging them in conversation. Say there's silence and they don't say anything. Maybe a day or two later, or 3 days, you find a video or a testimonial that reminds you of them. Send that to them and just say, hey, I just saw this and it reminded me of you and how great Plexus would be for you. Take a minute to watch this and let me know what you think. I'm really excited for you to get going, and I know this is going to be great for you. So you can just shoot them a little message like that. If still no response, I would let it sit for, a few more days and then get back to them. And then honestly, guys, sometimes what happens in my experience is that people will go to the website, they'll go to the corporate website, and they'll look at the prices, and they'll see the retail price, and they'll think, holy crap, I cannot afford this. Or they'll go to the website and look around, and they can't find the information that they want. So when I get back to someone, especially if I know they've been to the website, I'll ask them directly, I'll go, hey, I'm just wondering if the price scared you off. Because in the beginning, I thought Plexus was really expensive too. But if you have gone to the website, I just want you to know that there are a couple different ways to buy Plexus. And the price that you see on the website is the retail customer price, and that's a lot higher than the wholesale price. So if you're concerned about the price or the financial aspect at all, please let me know, and I'd love to help you know how you can get your products for free, because it's actually really simple. So I feel like just talking about the elephant in the room is really important, and sometimes that elephant in the room is the financial aspect. But if it's still radio silence, you don't hear anything, my next suggestion would be to let it sit for a week or two. Or when we have a virtual party, or there's an event coming up, or there's a sale going on, like a discounted membership or 10% off or something like that, reach out to them again. Don't take them off of your list and don't stop communicating with them. Maybe you need to change the conversation for a little while and talk about non-Plexus related stuff and build the relationship more before you talk about Plexus again. You have to remember that this is a relationship business, and if you always speak from the heart and share from the heart, and if you're passionate about what you're doing and you're passionate about Plexus and you come across that way, you're going to have much better success and you're really going to be able to get people on board. I really firmly believe in being passionate and not letting people sit for a long period of time. If someone is interested, you want to try and get them going as soon as possible. You don't want to be slow on your responses. You don't want to let a lot of time pass by, because that's time where maybe